Hey everybody, it's Tim Heidecker. You know me, Tim and Eric, Bridesmaids, and Fantastic Four. I'd like to personally invite you to listen to Office Hours Live with me and my co-hosts, DJ Doug Pound.
Hello.
And Vic Berger.
Howdy.
Every week we bring you laughs, fun, games, and lots of other surprises. It's live. We take your Zoom calls.
Music.
We love having fun. Excuse me?
Songs. Vic said something.
Songs.
Music.
I like having fun. I like to laugh. I like to meet people who can make me laugh. Please subscribe now.
This episode may contain explicit language. Welcome to Mom and Dad Are Fighting, Slate's parenting podcast for Thursday, November 9th, the Baby on the Move edition. I'm Zach Rosen. I make another podcast. It's called The Best Advice Show, and I am dad to Noah, who's 6, and Ami, who's 3. We live in Detroit.
I'm Elizabeth Newcamp. I write the family travel blog, Dutch Goose. I'm the mom of 3 littles, Henry, who's 11, Oliver, who's 9, and Teddy, who's 7. We live in Tokyo, Japan.
I'm Jamilah Lemieux, a writer and contributor to Slate's Care and Feeding Parenting column. I'm mom to Naima, who's 10, and we live in Los Angeles.
Today on the show, we've got a very relatable question. Our listener's kid is 10 months old and is on the move. Exciting, right? Well, he's a little hard to contain, and our listener is feeling guilty about the methods they've resorted to. We'll also debrief on how we're doing this week, and then if you're sticking around for Slate Plus, the holiday season is basically here. Wow. So before all that craziness ensues, we're going to talk through some of our biggest holiday parenting challenges and what you can do to address them. Here's what you'll hear if you have Slate Plus.
This episode is brought to you by KiwiCo. You know I love a gift that's actually an activity, especially when it involves something hands-on. When it comes to children, there's something truly magical about giving them a present that not only captivates their imagination, but also inspires a deeper dive into a subject they adore, like art or science or engineering. You can unwrap super fun science, technology, and art projects for kids with KiwiCo. There are 9 different subscription lines for different ages and in different categories, so there is literally something for every kid. We absolutely adored the KiwiCo handmade soap box, and what made it truly special was the opportunity to embark on this creative journey together with them. It was a hands-on activity. We bonded while crafting something truly unique. What made it even more remarkable was that it was a project I would have never tackled alone. There were just too many materials, which of course are all provided in the box. Plus, I had literally no idea what I was doing, which made it fun for the kids because they knew as much as I did. Plus, we now have the sweet satisfaction of using this adorable handmade soap. Sure, you can buy soap, but isn't it way more fun to make your own? KiwiCo crates are fun and stress-free. These are tested and approved by kids, and no crate from KiwiCo leaves without approval from their toughest critics, kids. Unwrap more than a gift. Discover hands-on fun with KiwiCo. Get your first month free on any crate line at kiwico.com/momanddad. That's your first month free at kiwico.com/momanddad.
This episode is brought to you by EveryPlate. Hoping to budget your food expenses this holiday season? Get more bang for your bite with America's best value meal kit. EveryPlate is 25% cheaper than grocery shopping with no hidden fees, so you can add more items to your cart for delicious holiday meals. Plus, only pay for what you need with pre-portioned ingredients. So I consider myself a connoisseur of the vegetarian sandwich. I'm always looking for new ideas, new combinations. I can thank EveryPlate for the most recent iteration that I was delighted by. It was their charred zucchini and tomato melts. So what came in my pre-portioned box is a zucchini, fresh mozzarella, sourdough bread, shredded pepper jack cheese, garlic, a tomato, sweet potato for sweet potato fries, and so good. Because a grilled cheese is always delightful, but if you add some zag to that cheese in the form of zucchini, it's going to work out great, and it'll get your kids to eat vegetables if they have a hard time doing so. It was delicious. Crossing off your to-do list ahead of this holiday season, get EveryPlate and take back your time with fewer trips to the grocery store and meals ready in 6 simple steps. They plan the meals and deliver pre-portioned ingredients right to your door so you can spend less time meal prepping and more time resting and relaxing over the holidays. Choose EveryPlate over takeout to save money while still enjoying fresh, satisfying meals. Their meals are 50% cheaper than your average fast casual meal. They're the easiest way to eat affordably. Put the money you save toward making holiday plans. Get started with EveryPlate for just $1.49 per meal plus $1 steaks by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code 49momanddad. That's $1.49 per meal plus $1 steaks by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code 49MOMANDDAD. That's up to a $110 value.
Thinking about the advice we've given on that over the years, if we had to kind of sum it up, it would be like set boundaries before you go. What else do you think?
Try to have those conversations in advance of the holiday if you possibly can. I'm so grateful for your input and that you want to be supportive of us. You know, I hope that when we're all together for the holiday, you're able to give us the space to parent our children.
Slate Plus is the best way to listen to the show. You won't have to listen to ads, and you get a bonus segment every week. It's the ultimate way to enhance your listening experience while also providing vital support to our show. You can join Slate Plus today by visiting slate.com/momanddadplus. And if you can't get enough of Slate, guess what? The Slate Shop is now open. Go to shop.slate.com to browse our selection of thoughtfully curated, high-quality products that support small businesses, Slate's independent journalism, and your shopping habit. From hand-poured candles and expertly crafted pasta makers to official Slate merch and beaded pickle pouches, the Slate Shop is your destination for unique products and fabulous gifts. That's shop.slate.com, and new customers will receive 10% off their first order. Happy shopping! All right, with all the business out of the way, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back with triumphs and fails. We are back. Elizabeth, what's up with you this week?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So a couple nights ago, you know, in Tokyo, time is wacky. I was recording a podcast, like a different podcast late at night. So it was probably like 11:30. And on my Mac, I noticed like the screen open, all of our internet is linked so I can see if other people are on the internet. I knew Jeff was asleep. And I click on it during the podcast and like these Minecraft videos come up. So I'm like, okay, one of the children is awake. So when the podcast was over, I go into their room and I'm kind of like peeking and I find Henry has his iPad and he's like under the blankets, clearly watching videos. When I come in and I pull the blankets back, he doesn't say anything. He's just like, and I was like, hey, bud, it's like after midnight. I'm going to take these. And then I like tucked him in and I walked out. But guys, I was so mad. So we have like a rule in the house that after 8, the iPads get plugged in. He had asked, because he's trying to read or listen to all these books on the list, could he listen to his audiobook just before he fell asleep? And so we were like, sure. So we let him have his iPad in there to listen to the audiobook. He had headphones on. Clearly he, abused that privilege. So I came back into the office and I sat down. I was like, I'm going to send him an email. I think the best thing to do is like draft an email. I'm going to send it to him because he checks his email for school. So I wrote this email that basically said, good morning, Henry. I hope you're in a better mood this morning. Last night, we noticed that you were using your iPad to watch YouTube videos late at night. And I wanted to discuss this with you because we care about your well-being and safety. Then I reiterated our household policy. But then I'm thinking well, what consequence? So he's going to be tired. And I'm obviously going to wake him up 10 to 20 minutes earlier just to really, rub in the point. So I go to ChatGPT and I'm like, can you give me 5 questions that would help a kid learn about internet safety and at night? And I picked 3 of them and I put them in the email. And I said, basically, I want to make sure that you understand that we all enjoy using our iPads and watching videos. However, it's essential that we use our devices responsibly and safely. Late night or private iPad use can have negative effects on your sleep schedule, concentration, and overall well-being. To better understand this, I'd like you to do a little research and answer 3 short questions. And so then I listed these 3 questions, which is basically, why is it important to have a healthy sleep routine and how does using screens late at night affect that? What are some potential risks of using iPads or watching videos in private or without proper supervision? And how can we ensure a balance between enjoying our devices and maintaining our daily routines and responsibilities? Then to be cheeky, I listed 4 YouTube videos because he likes to watch YouTube that might be helpful in answering these. And then I basically said, you cannot have your iPad back. You can use the family computer to do the research, but you can't resume use of your iPad until these questions are answered. So he woke up the next morning. I think he thought he was off the hook, checked his email. Then didn't speak to me, spoke to Jeff, because Jeff was not, Jeff, obviously I CC'd Jeff. I had told him by the time he got up in the morning, this is what happened. Doesn't speak to me, comes home from school, is cold, but I just decided it's done. I've given the assignment, it's done. So I'm normal. I'm like, he can approach me. So we go a full day like this. And the next day he brings me 3 typed answers that were incredibly well thought out. They're bullet pointed. They're not like a paragraph. And he's like, it's his little like F you, he's like, I'm not writing a paragraph, but I did bullet point these out.
Fair.
And I was like, that sounds great. I just asked you to do some research. Thanks for taking the assignment seriously. Do you have any questions? And he's like, no. I'm like, okay, if you have questions in the future, please let me know. I really enjoy watching videos too. So if that's something that you need, we're happy to give you time during a reasonable period. He's like, great. He's like, can I use my iPad? I'm like, sure. It needs to be turned in by 8. He's like, great. And done. So I don't know that the issue is done. I feel really good about how this went. He wrote some very like funny things, about catfishing and things like that, because clearly he did some research of his own.
How confident were you that he was going to do the assignment?
No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, in the morning I
Really?
said to Jeff, I do not have a plan if he doesn't do this. And Jeff felt very confident in my scary calmness. Like that I was not flying off the handle. He felt that scary, calm Elizabeth would get the stuff done, that I was not bringing it up. I have a tendency to like nag on everybody. And so it felt like sending the email and just giving the assignment and then me not having to ever say anything about it again unless he brought it up, right, was a really good way to handle it. And he thought that would scare Henry into doing it, which it did.
Won the game of parenting chicken.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I won this
Well
round.
done. Triumph indeed.
No, but seriously, I wanted him to reflect about what he had done. And I felt inspired, Jamilah. We had talked about like the essays that were assigned to us as children or writing apology letters. And I'm thankful to ChatGPT for giving me some questions, because I think at like 1 a.m. I was like, well, what kind of questions? I was trying to be like harsh as opposed to just being like, what are the 3 things that I want him to learn? And what are the questions that will get him to learn that?
Very nice.
So email your children.
What's going on with you, Jamilah?
Well, today I toured a middle school
Oh my gosh.
because
Wow.
Naima will be in middle school next year.
Can I ask really quick, does her school have a middle school and you're touring that, or she has to move schools?
She has to move schools.
Okay.
Okay.
So I toured our top choice school. A lot of kids from her school go there. It's a really nice campus. The kids just seem great. They've got a media studies program. It just, it feels like a school where Naima would be at home. So I'm just really excited. I'm nervous about this process, and I realize that I'll need to see other schools, and at some point Naima will need to go on a tour of her own. It was advertised as a parents tour, but a few people did bring their children with them, so I kind of wish Naima had been able to see the school for herself, but I really liked it.
How does applying for middle school work? Like, I know nothing.
It's a crazy process. There's this application in LA called the Choices app. And there are these different categories of schools: magnet schools, schools that have busing, schools that have specialized language programs, etc. And you get to choose your top 3. The woman who gave the tour said that pretty much everyone who lists the school as their top pick tends to get in. So I was optimistic about that, and we've gotten the application in already. So, I don't really want to even see any other schools. I want her to just go to this one. I loved it.
Is she as excited as you are?
I don't think she's excited about it yet. Like, it's where she wants to go,
Okay.
just because, like, she knows a lot of her friends will be going there, and that kids from her school often go there.
The commute comparable to what you're doing now?
Yep.
Okay. 3 hours each way.
No. About 20, 25 minutes.
There's something about being in a middle school that's just like, oh, they're like not elementary kids anymore.
No.
Like it's big kid stuff.
It's big kid stuff.
Even if they're little, it's like the 8th graders are like women and men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just the juxtaposition between the 6th graders and the 7th and 8th graders was crazy. But luckily at this school, the 6th graders have most of their classes in one wing of the building. Except for like PE and, maybe art. So they're generally going to be contained to the 6th graders for the first year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Zach, what are you up to this week?
School transitions. Ami just started at a new daycare. He's now a week and a half in. he had been going to the same one that Noah went to before she started kindergarten, and it's like 15 minutes from our house, and it's been perfectly fine. I mean, thank God they stayed open during COVID. Like, we have no profound complaints about it, but it always felt just kind of like corporate-y, and it was also just getting so expensive. Like, it went up like 50 to 60%.
Oh my
The price went up like 50 to 60% during COVID. It's insane. I mean, we've talked about this on the show before, but it's not sustainable. But we heard that there was a young woman who had been teaching music classes in our neighborhood. We heard that she was starting a daycare in our neighborhood. Shira started connecting with her maybe like 6 months ago, and it was just, maybe even more, when it was just a seed of an idea. And Shira told her, like, we're very interested, keep us posted. And, we were kind of following her as she was getting all her, forms. And I mean, imagine just opening any institution is a big headache. So she said she'd be opening in the fall of this year. And I was like, no way she'll be ready for that. But sure enough, last week was day one of this really sweet little daycare that is literally a 7-minute walk from our house, and also like a 7-minute walk from Noah's school. So it's all walkable now, which is such a game changer. It's like just one classroom. There's like 5 kids. There's 2 really great teachers. It's in this church basement. It's like totally like DIY. There's some trains and there's some dinosaurs and there's some coloring books, and like they don't have much structure in their day. There's like a big hallway where they've set up like a tricycle track, and there's like 5 tricycles, so each kid has a tricycle that they can just like ride around during the day. There's a little backyard. It's so sweet and it's so cozy. And I was worried about the transition, but he loves it. It's been great. It's been great. It's a real triumph.
Are the other kids from the neighborhood too?
Some of them are. Yep. And then like the lead teacher's husband works at Noah's school. It feels very Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood in a lovely way.
That sounds so nice.
Yeah, it's great.
Yay.
I thought I just heard a kid crying. Oh, I'll be right back. Shira's not here.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
No problem.
You guys, this is unfortunate. Noah, she fell asleep like 2 hours before she usually does, and she just woke up wailing. She's burning up. She must have a fever.
No. Okay.
And Shira's not home. So,
we got it.
Okay, yeah. So, I gotta go. Sorry, but I know you understand, and I know our listeners do too. So, I'm gonna go give Noah some Tylenol.
Good luck. Go parents.
And blow her nose because it's all boogery.
Oh. Poor Zach. Okay, well, on that note, we're gonna take another quick break, and then Jamilah and I will be back with a question.
Hey there, Mom and Dad are fighting listeners. It's the holiday season, so let's talk about Etsy. Are you on a mission to find handcrafted, affordable gifts made by independent sellers? Well, whether you're searching for custom home pieces like cutting boards, linens, and throw pillows for your favorite holiday hosts, or personalized items like purses, necklaces, and seasonal jackets for your most stylish friends and family, Etsy has it. If you need something for the home chef in your life, like serveware and cookware, or style pieces like rings, clutches, and bangles for that trend-setting special someone, Etsy has it for all budgets and any gifting mission. Etsy has even put together one-of-a-kind gift guides for him, her, kids of all ages, and more, so you'll never run out of ideas. New to Etsy? Use the code HOLIDAY10 for 10% off your first purchase. That's code HOLIDAY10. Maximum discount value of $50. Expires December 31st, 2023. See terms at etsy.com/terms. For handcrafted, affordable gifts for everyone on your list, Etsy has it. Shop Etsy.com.
This podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you're driving, cooking, or doing laundry, Progressive knows the podcasts you listen to go best when they're bundled with another activity, much like how their Progressive home and auto policies go best when they're bundled. Having these 2 policies together makes taking care of your insurance easier and could help you save too. Customers who save by switching their home and car insurance to Progressive save nearly $800 on average. That's a whole lot of savings and protection for your favorite podcast listening activities, like going on a road trip, cooking dinner, and even hitting the gym. Yep, your home and your car are even easier to protect when you bundle your insurance together. Find your perfect combo. Get a home and car insurance quote at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $793 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2021 and May 2022. Potential savings will vary.
This episode is brought to you by KiwiCo. As a parent, there's nothing more rewarding than seeing your child's eyes light up with curiosity and enthusiasm. When you give a gift that inspires a child to explore a topic they're passionate about, you're not just offering them a present, you're fostering a love for learning that can last a lifetime. That's why I turned to KiwiCo craft boxes. With their thoughtfully curated kits, kids can delve into subjects like science, art, and engineering, turning playtime into an educational adventure. These boxes spark a flame of inquisitiveness in our little ones, encouraging them to ask questions, experiment, and discover. When you're giving KiwiCo, you're gifting so much more than a small box of toys. Our family recently embarked on the delightful journey of candle making. Well, here's the thing. It wasn't just about crafting. It was about learning the art of following directions, a skill that we often take for granted, as well as all gathering around the table and watching our kids decipher the step-by-step instructions and teaching them the importance of precision and patience. But here's the best part. Everything I needed came in the box, and the quality is actually really, really good. Like, this is a candle that we could gift. This is a candle that we can actually use. I sort of look at it and can't believe we actually made it. Unwrap more than a gift. Discover hands-on fun with KiwiCo. Get your first month free on any crate line at kiwico.com/momanddad. That's your first month free at kiwico.com/momanddad. We're back. Let's hear our listener question. Dear Mom and Dad, I have a 10-month-old son who is beautiful, funny, and on the move. He's crawling, cruising, walking with a walker, and showing signs of standing up on his own. Our house isn't as baby-proofed as I'd like it to be, though we're working on it. If I put him in a playpen, he screams bloody murder. He's in a very clingy phase. You see, Mom and Dad, I'm tired, and I'm tired of chasing the baby around the house, and I'm tired of not being able to take care of anything while he's awake. So I've started putting on Miss Rachel for about half an hour a day while my husband is at work. It's the only thing that gets him to sit still and not cry when I'm not holding him or actively playing with him. However, I feel such immense guilt. The other day, I was reading an article about how screen time before 18 months really adversely affects the dopamine centers of the brain, and I resolved to stop. Well, my son is watching Miss Rachel as I write this because I'm just so tired. When I'm done writing this, I need to get up and clean the floor from where he dropped food all over it. Help me. I love my son so much, and I feel like such a failure. Thanks, too tired. Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, stop reading all the studies. No.
Stop reading the studies. They can't help you.
Jamilah, I'm going to let you go first and weigh in here.
Well, I think first of all, is Miss Rachel the British lady?
She's American, but she does like learn to speak and.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Completely educational programming. What I want to say is that out of all the things she could have chosen, she's essentially chosen a nice woman talking and playing games with a child on the other end of the TV.
Got it. I think you need to stop feeling like a failure. You need to stop feeling so guilty. It's only 30 minutes a day. It's not like you're parking your child in front of Miss Rachel for 8 hours while you work, you know. You need 30 minutes a day to clean up the mess that he's made on the floor or, you know, prepare a meal. You're doing what you have to do. You know, like there are not many things that'll occupy a 10-month-old for 30 minutes at a time. And you found something that's lovely and educational and designed for small children. I think you should give yourself some grace and continue using Miss Rachel for 30 minutes a day. And like, you know, limit it. 30 minutes is 30 minutes. You know, like this doesn't become your crutch that you pull out every time you need a break. But, you know, you've got something that'll give you at least a little bit of, you know, time each day, not necessarily to yourself, but to get things done.
Yeah, I mean, the studies are great. Look, we know that screen time for kids is bad, screen time for adults is bad, but like the studies are in a vacuum and our life is not in a vacuum. Like the study is not looking at the mental health toll of a stressed out parent right? So like, yes, great, you're holding this kid and you're stressed out and they're never watching screens, but you as a parent are not your best self. Like, what is the consequences of that? And I just don't think we've seen anything that says like, it is better for you to be stressed out. And this is really a comment on like what parenting in America looks like right now, right? Like, you have the burden of cleaning up and doing all these things and the expectation that your child will never look at a screen, be held the entire time. So I think the burden that you're placing on yourself is too high. And if that means not reading the studies, don't read the studies. Like, just don't stress yourself out about this particular thing at this moment, right? You are not creating a screen addicted child by letting your kid watch some Miss Rachel. I think there are studies out there that talk about like quality screen time. I mean, I know the studies that you're probably talking about are about light in their eyes and all these other things, but there is a difference in what they're watching. You're choosing something high quality. I did want to think about, so if you feel like you can't leave them or you're still feeling guilty about it, maybe we can talk about like how you can create a space in your house, because I know the baby proofing you say isn't like where you want it to be, but can you get 2 baby gates and baby proof one room or one space where they can play and you can do some of those things in the same space if that'll make you feel better? Like, the whole house doesn't have to be ready. Can you shut a door, get a gate, and now this room is good? I think, Jamilah, I don't know about you, but for me, baby proofing was like, with the first kid, I was totally crazy about everything. Mm-hmm. And then subsequently I was like, oh, I only really need to worry about the things that could like seriously harm them. So like, for example, furniture being like secured to walls. If that is not done, you need to do that now. Mm-hmm. Big furniture that they could pull on and could fall on them, you need to do that. A gate for the stairs, you need to do that. Outlet covers. Everything else, you can just like gather up the stuff the kid's gonna pull down and put it in a basket. It's okay. Every corner doesn't need to be covered. All of those things that could hurt the child, but isn't going to be, those are wish list items, but you need to create a space where you can set this child down to get some stuff done without you feeling guilty about it.
Yeah, I definitely agree that you don't have to have a perfectly baby-proofed house. You need to have a baby-proof space.
Yeah.
That's where your child is. That's where you keep them when you're getting things done.
And like, can you lower any expectations of what jobs need to be done in the house is the other thing. Like, there are jobs that we have to do, right? But there are also things that can become in this part of your life, like wish list items, like if laundry is clean but not folded and put away, that's okay. If the, kitchen is like mostly clean, but there are some dishes in the sink, like that is okay. I also think if you can take any time where the kid is playing and you're not playing with them, but you're in the room, that might be helpful. Like, can you take some because I get kind of the sense that they're also tired because she's not getting any downtime. They're not getting any downtime. So can you read a book in the same space or do something that you really enjoy, kind of relaxing, laying down while the child is playing? It's a tough age. Mm-hmm. I did a lot of baby wearing in this stage, which doesn't really help with the being touched out, but you can kind of strap them on and go. Like, put them on my back and wear them around in the little ergo, like all over the house.
Yeah, I did the same thing. While I was cooking, cleaning, she was right there.
Yeah. But I just think people are so worried about like getting into cabinets, and sure, if they like have things that the kids can, chemicals, things like that, you need to change it. But if they unload the pots and pans, like it's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah. Were you crazy about baby proofing?
I wasn't. We had a pretty small place when Naima was a baby, so there wasn't a lot that I had to worry about. I did have a gate, that kept her in the living room / nursery area as needed, but I kept my eyes on her. She didn't really have access to much, and she did, there was always the time she got into the hair gel or the baby powder. It's not that those things didn't happen, but she never got in any real danger.
Yeah, I think we get so crazy about making the space perfectly protected as opposed to thinking like, what are the things that could really harm them versus like, this is annoying and they're not, harmed. And so stressed out to the point where your life is affected. Being a parent is hard. There are not the resources that we need. And you got to cut yourself a little bit of slack where you can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, too tired, please stay in touch. Throw on a Miss Rachel and send a note because we really want to know how things are going. Everyone else, if you have advice, I know there are parents out there that have some kind of hack for this because I feel like this is kind of a universal experience at this age. Please email us, momanddad@slate.com. Call and leave a message for this letter writer, 646-357-9318. That's also where you can send questions of your own. And that's our show. Subscribe, leave a rating and review, and tell your friends. This episode of Mom and Dad Are Fighting is produced by Rosemary Belson and Maura Currie. Sasha Leonard is the voice of our listeners. Alicia Montgomery is the VP of Slate Audio. For Zach Rosen and Jamilah Lemieux, I'm Elizabeth Newcamp. Thanks for listening.